This woman with a graceful figure is 88 years old, but with the help of this amazing medical device, she can stay young forever and keep a tight, girlish look. And such a machine that can achieve immortality is just a common household appliance in every wealthy family. In this future world, while technology is overdeveloped, diseases are raging. The Earth can no longer bear the burden and has become a ruined place. In 2154, humans built a paradise like Elysium on a space station floating above the Earth and continue to enjoy a more luxurious life. However, this is only the privilege of a few rich people. Most of the poor have to stay on the devastated Earth, struggling to survive and endure the regulations made by the rich at the same time. What poor children like most is to look through the books at all kinds of animals they've never seen on Earth, and then look up at Elysium from time to time, fantasizing that one day they will also live there. But where there's oppression, there's resistance. Under the operation of a local gang led by Spider, there are indeed some people who, after saving enough money, buy a ticket to Elysium. This group of poor people are going to stow away to Elysium, but they don't have the access rights. Soon, they face the punishment of the rules and order. Under the merciless artillery fire, one spaceship after another turns into debris in the universe. But there are always some highly skilled pilots who, by some fluke, avoid the attacks and successfully land on Elysium. And the first thing all the passengers do after getting off the spaceship is rush towards the mansions of the rich, just so that their children can lie in the ordinary household appliances of the rich for a while, get rid of all the pain and illness, and become healthy. Although in the end, all the stowaway poor people will still be caught and sent back to Earth, even with only a 1% chance of success, it still makes the poor scramble to buy a temporary sightseeing ticket. Just like others, Max da Costa also has the same dream. So he started saving money when he was very young. He wanders around the front line of the assembly line factory every day, not daring to be absent for a moment. Although he's often laughed at and sneered at by his fellow villagers, compared to the new life in Elysium, it's nothing. Max actually steals coins from kids just to speed up his money saving. But just as Max is getting closer to his dream step by step, an accident finally happens. When a worker is operating the machine, the cabin door suddenly gets stuck. In order to rush the work and not get his salary deducted, Max violates the regulations and squeezes his body right in. Max just fixes the tray when the cabin door closes directly. When the whole procedure is completed, the cabin door is opened again. The robot drags Max out like a dead dog. Although his consciousness is still clear now, because he has received a fatal dose of radiation, he will die in 5 days. The factory CEO, John Carlyle, arrives late. After taking a look through the glass, he directly tells his subordinates to drive Max away, not to dirty his sheets. After receiving the order, the robot takes out a factory liability exemption form. Max signs it in a daze. Only then does the robot throw him a bottle of strong painkillers, which can make him suffer a little less before he dies. After being ruthlessly abandoned by the factory, Max knows there's only one way to survive. Max breaks into Spider's territory, hoping to buy a ticket to Elysium in installments. Spider just laughs scornfully when he hears this and tells Max to go back where he came from. Max just goes all out, because if this way doesn't work, it means death. When Spider hears that Max only has a few days left, his eyes light up. Right now, he needs a person who is willing to risk his life to do a big thing for him. The two, each with their own needs, reach a deal immediately. Spider needs Max to kidnap a rich person in Elysium, then download and decipher the data in his brain, and thus obtain the password to enter Elysium. However, in Max's opinion, there's no need to take such a big risk by going to the space station. The factory CEO, Carlyle, is a ready-made target. From the steel-stamped identity on his face, it can be seen that he came down from Elysium, but with a clear kidnapping target, the weak Max still needs to be well modified. The third-generation exoskeleton armor can be connected to the nervous system, turning a human being into a semi-robot, making the flesh and blood as strong as a robot. After 88 hours of manual installation by a surgeon, Max is a completely new man. With professional mechs and professional weapons, he's extremely powerful now. And at this time on the other side, Carlyle, escorted by 2 golden robots, is about to go to Elysium, but he doesn't know that he has already become the prey of others. The spaceship soon makes an emergency landing due to engine failure and slides 875 yards on the ground before stopping. Thanks to the excellent safety system, there's no damage inside the spaceship. Through scanning, Carlyle discovers the robbers outside, so he orders the robots to kill them. Under the suppression of powerful firepower, Max and his friend Julio can only take cover for the moment, and then launch an attack when the robots are automatically reloading. The robots are quickly smashed to pieces. Just as Max uses a laser machine to open the spaceship's hatch and is about to take away Carlyle, he suddenly finds that there's another robot hidden on the other side of the spaceship. Julio, hiding behind a car, immediately picks up an automatic machine gun and blindly shoots. As a result, not only does he not take down the robot, but he accidentally shoots Carlyle. Facing the powerful robot, Max directly chooses to fight head-on. This is a showdown between a robot and a semi-robot. Although the robot is much stronger in strength, it lacks the unique fighting skills and wisdom of humans. Eventually, it is defeated, and Max directly breaks its neck. Everyone immediately swarms up and connects Carlyle's brain to Max's brain-machine interface before he takes his last breath. At this time, they must race against time to transfer the data. But when the synchronization is completed, they are completely stunned because the confidential data in Carlyle's brain is all garbled. But at this moment, they don't know that this code will completely shuffle the entire human order. In the future world, this CEO, Carlyle, is not only the boss of the factory, but also the developer and designer of Elysium. All the program codes are created by him. In recent years, due to the poor operation of the machinery factory, the company has been losing money continuously. So, in order to attract investment, Carlyle reaches a cooperation with Jessica Delacourt, the head of Elysium's armed forces. Delacourt takes the lead in injecting capital into the machinery factory, but she requires Carlyle to reprogram and reset the Elysium system and promote her as the new leader. And this garbled code in Carlyle's head is the programming to restart the system. At this time, Delacourt, who is closely monitoring this accident on Elysium in order to prevent the data from falling into the hands of others and exposing the secret, dispatches the most professional agents to hunt them down. These agents are a group of desperados, with Kruger as their leader. Their biggest hobby is legally hunting and playing with human lives. The code in Max's brain can restart the entire Elysium. In order not to damage the data in Max's head, Kruger has to do it himself. The already weak Max is certainly no match. Soon he gets stabbed in the kidney. Just as Kruger is about to deliver the final blow, Julio jumps out from the side and pulls Max back from the gates of hell. But he himself doesn't escape fate's judgment and is directly killed by Kruger. Max, who comes to his senses, immediately fires a shot, but it's all blocked by the protective shield Kruger turns on. Max watches his only friend fall in a pool of blood, but now is not the time to cry. Kruger stands up unharmed, and the enemy's spaceship lands in front of them to pick him up. Taking advantage of the cover of the sky-filling dust, Max starts his escape. Max crawls under the carriage. With the cover of a litter of piglets, he successfully evades the spaceship's detection, but soon, he's caught red-handed by a drone. There's nowhere to hide. Max breaks off the rear-view mirror, carefully checks the drone's position, and then throws it directly to smash the camera. Taking advantage of the moment the drone loses balance, he dashes to Spider's territory. Seeing Max's arrival, no one dares to shoot, for they're afraid of damaging this walking vault. Max demands that Spider send him to the space station immediately, but Spider says that because the data has been stolen, the space station has issued a no-fly order to Earth. Not even a fly can get out. After calming Max down, Spider connects the computer to the brain-machine interface, and a string of complex, garbled codes pop up one after another. Others may not understand, but as a computer genius, Spider is immediately fascinated by just one glance. This string of garbled codes turns out to be the key to open the kingdom. With this code data, the space station can be restarted, making everyone a citizen of Elysium. But Max doesn't care at this moment. He only cares about how to treat his radiation-damaged body. Since this way doesn't work, he has to find another way. However, he doesn't notice that Spider secretly plants a tracker on him and orders his men to let Max go. Before long, Max finds the broken drone he smashed. By using the broken camera, he lures Kruger and his gang. He casually pulls out the pin of a grenade and holds it tightly in his hand, demanding that Kruger send him to Elysium. Otherwise, he'll die together with the data in his brain. Kruger has to compromise for the moment and politely invites Max into the spaceship. But to Max's surprise, he meets his childhood sweetheart, Fry, in the spaceship, and she's also with a girl. It seems that Kruger has made full preparations to force Max to show up. As Marcus gets on the spaceship, the no-fly order on Earth is lifted, and the spaceship heads straight for Elysium. Just before the spaceship is about to land, Kruger suddenly squats down and starts to tease Frey. His intention is obvious. Max, who is not a calm-tempered person, jumps out immediately. While Max is blinded by anger, Kruger and his teammate attack from both sides and directly restrain Max. During the struggle, the grenade accidentally slips out of his hand and falls to the ground. Max immediately protects the child. The instantaneous explosion inside makes the spaceship lose control and crash straight into the wealthy area. Thanks to the exoskeleton, Max is unharmed, but the child in his arms falls into a coma due to the huge impact. Moreover, the child already has leukemia, and after this incident, her situation is very critical. Frey quickly rushes into the nearest rich man's mansion with the child, puts the child in the medical pod, and starts the program. But because she doesn't have a legal citizen identity, she can't start the treatment program. After a short delay, Frey is electro-stunned by Kruger's men who catch up, and at this time, Max in the spaceship is also caught by the security guards who come over. Max is tied to the operating table and about to have the data in his brain extracted. Kruger, who took a direct hit from the grenade, has lost half of his face. But with the medical pod, recovery is no problem at all. Then comes the moment to witness a miracle. Kruger, with only half of his face left, is carried onto the medical pod. After 3D printed restoration, his appearance is restored in just half a minute. After being shocked, Kruger comes back to life. The first thing Kruger does after being reborn is to take revenge. Because the nerve in his brain was injured during the medical repair, Kruger's emotions become even more unpredictable. Facing the scolding of his female boss, Delacour, Kruger seems submissive, but his actions don't show any mercy. Subsequently, Kruger orders his men to clear everyone in this building. He's determined to turn Elysium into a kingdom that belongs only to him. And he himself is fully armed, only wanting to find Max, get the code in his head, and get back at his humiliation. With the help of the exoskeleton, Max quickly breaks free from the shackles. Then he beats up the medical staff on the scene, pulls out a 26-foot electrocoil from his throat, and eats all the remaining painkillers. Instantly, he's being pumped up. He finds the cell where Frey is, beats up the guards, and takes Frey and her daughter away. But he doesn't leave with them, because Max has his own plan. He tells Frey to take her daughter directly to the rich man's medical pod, and says he'll handle the rest. Just after Frey and her daughter leave, the cabin door on the other side is opened. It's Spider and his gang who have found this place according to the tracker on Max. But the convergence of these two groups of people unexpectedly saves Kruger time. He doesn't need to look for them one by one. A dart is shot at the man, and then Kruger activates the remote control, watching his teammate being blown to pieces right in front of his eyes. Max is furious. He picks up a machine gun and fires a burst. But unfortunately, Kruger uses the same old trick again. Kruger turns on the protective shield to block all the attacks. When Max is exhausted, Kruger jumps in front of them again. Being overconfident, he directly pulls out the combat knife on his back and slashes at Max. Seeing that his most powerful strike is blocked, Kruger is about to deliver a finishing blow when Spider appears and immediately tackles Kruger. The long knife is also knocked off the bridge. But Spider is no match for Kruger. He's quickly subdued. Then the two semi-robots engage in a close-range, hand-to-hand fight. This is the third confrontation between the two sworn enemies, and also the peak showdown between the protagonist and the villain. But Max is already injured, and besides, he's just an assembly line worker. How can he be a match for a professional agent? However, Max still doesn't give up. He's ready to die with Kruger, but accidentally pulls out the brain-machine interface of Kruger's exoskeleton. Without the external support, Max completely overwhelms Kruger. Kruger pulls out the pin of a grenade and hangs it on Max's waist. But at this moment, Max's mission is not yet completed. He uses all his strength to throw Kruger off the bridge. At the same time, on the other side, Spider successfully deciphers the cabin door. But after some operations, Spider falls into despair. Because unexpectedly, the mainframe of Elysium has crashed. If the data in Max's head is downloaded at this time, it means brain death. Even the medical machine can't cure it, but Max doesn't care at all. He resolutely presses the confirm button. With the transmission of lines of code and the end of the countdown, Elysium is restarted. In just half a minute, the world becomes different. On the other side, the girl lying in the medical machine also gets a new identity. As the device turns, the leukemia cells in her body are instantly eliminated, and she becomes a healthy child. And she's not the only lucky one. Because of the restart of Elysium, all humans have become new citizens of this paradise. The system automatically detects that there are unhealthy people on Earth and immediately dispatches all spaceships to pick them up and provide rescue. From then on, the new life in Elysium is no longer the exclusive privilege of the rich, nor is it a luxury for the poor. This film is called Elysium, directed by Neil Blomkamp, who also directed District 9. It still combines science fiction and politics. Both the Earth scenes and the Elysium scenes were shot in Mexico. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.